Oftentimes, it's the little things that make an RV feel like a home. And in this one, those little things add up to really big things. The Campsite Reserve 25MW is a rear bath layout that feels so open thanks to this super slide with the dinette and sofa right across from the TV and the huge windows which make this space so incredibly bright. But I think the crown jewel is actually going to be the kitchen. Not only do you have the bar top over here to the side, but you have a big L-shaped kitchen with prep space, the recessed 3-burner cooktop, your big sink, air fryer, and a 10.7 cubic foot fridge. So let's talk a little bit about that raised countertop. I personally really like it because I think it creates some separation of space and also creates a nice spot to lean. You will also see right underneath that you have easy access to a trash can, which it does come with one, as well as some additional space for some shoes down here. As for the rest of the kitchen, you'll see that it is all going to be thermoformed countertops, which are going to be an upgrade over T-mold. You're not going to have to worry about it coming out in corners or anything like that. Less chance for any kind of water damage, hence the reason you can undermount the sink like so. That is a stainless steel sink there. You'll see it does come with a drying rack as well as a cutting board, so you have a couple different options. High-rise faucet, glass rinser, which I think at this price point is really cool to have a feature like that. As someone who entertains a lot, I would certainly use that a lot. I also like that it comes with a water filter. Folks, you never know what kind of water you're going to be getting when you hook up. Having a water filter is a must. Having one on board is even more convenient. Electrical outlet right over to the side because, you know, this is going to probably be your main space for like a coffee maker, toaster, whatever other appliance you need. You have some prep space right in the center, and then over to the other side is a 3-burner recessed cooktop. It does have a little light here if you're into the blue light look. Underneath that is going to be the microwave, but more importantly is the fact that this one is an air fryer, which I think is a really cool option to have in an RV, something we really haven't seen until like late last year, early this year. 2 full extension ball bearing drawers, you can see that right there, magnetic catch, and underneath the sink, let me open this one up, you can see how huge that space is. Super spacious, you have plenty of room for all of your pots and pans. Now, in lieu of overhead storage, I personally really like what they have done. They kind of built out the box here, and you'll see they have spots if you want to hang, again, pots, pans there, or mugs is probably what I would do, but whatever you choose, and a massive window in the kitchen. Now, I obviously have it closed for camera purposes, but when this thing is open, I mean, it lets in so much light and gives you a great view out to the campsite. You'll also see right up above the cooktop is going to be an upgraded 4-stage Furion fan. I believe it's 14-inch on there, so it's going to be much larger than like your standard little fans you would find. And then right over here is a 10.7 cubic foot fridge freezer. This one is 12 volts, so it'll run off the batteries. And again, just huge storage, whether it's cold storage or dry storage. This kitchen, I think, does a great job. And you're probably saying, Ian, what do you mean? I feel like it's lacking a little bit of storage in the kitchen, but here is why I say there's a lot. Not only did we have those massive storage areas underneath the sink, but you have a full pantry right here, which is fantastic, especially for a rear bath floor plan. And on top of that, behind the entertainment center, little travel lock here, by the way, dun, 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 more storage over here. So that's what I mean when I say for a kitchen, while yes, technically this is in the entertainment center area, kind of in the entryway, you do have a lot of storage. Now, the entertainment center itself obviously has the TV here, great viewing angle to the sofa. You can also see it from the dinette. You have a little shelf space, so if you need to put some movies in there, maybe components if they're able to slip in there. Might be a little tricky, but possibly something. And then you have the fireplace there right underneath, which essentially is going to be a space heater. It's 5,000 BTU, so it will kick out some heat. Just bear in mind you have to have shore power or a generator because that does run off 120 volt. Now, the super slide. This one, as you can see, has the jackknife sofa as well as the dinette. The big thing I like about a jackknife is the storage. You will see this one, however, doesn't have quite as much as I normally would like to see, but that's because you have the raised slide. We'll see that a little bit when we go over to the dinette, and we can talk a little bit about that as well. You do have some storage in the back though, which is nice. That's something that, a lot of times you don't get. So if you do have something like a table that you want to be able to sneak back there, you can do that. And then you will also see that you have the removable armrests right here on the side. And of course, because it's a jackknife sofa, this does drop down into additional sleeping space. Now, as a 6-foot adult, how does that look? Let's see here. If I kind of lay, yeah, I mean, I can't extend fully out, right? I have to curl up a little bit, but all in all, it's honestly not awful. I mean, I can definitely make this work. So if you do have overnight guests, that is going to be an option. Then right next to that is the dinette. So you do have this seating area, right? So you have a place to sit and have meals. This also drops down into a bed. And again, huge windows. Take a look at the size of this window right here. It's absolutely massive. Another big window over above the sofa. Again, just letting in all that natural light. But my favorite part about this dinette is the storage. Take a look at the massive storage. Now, this is not on any kind of guide rails, so you can see it kind of is free floating, so bear that in mind as you're moving them around. If you pull too far, the drawer will come out, so don't do that. But I love the fact of just how big that storage space truly is. First off, I do want to mention that the bathroom is pretty spacious. Like, I do have enough room to get changed in here or actually get ready and look at the mirror, which is something to be said, because oftentimes you don't get that in a travel trailer. As for the shower itself, I'm 6 foot tall with the skylight. I can stand up in here. You can probably be 6'1" and still be able to do it, but you can see without the skylight, it's just not going to happen. But the skylight does take up the majority of the shower, so it shouldn't be an issue. You'll see a couple of shelves in here, as well as the hand wand, and we have a high threshold shower, which I really like, because when you have a shower curtain, if you just have a standard threshold in the shower, the curtain goes, everywhere. Water gets everywhere all over the floor. The high threshold helps prevent that. Plus, if you have a dog or something, it makes it a lot easier to be able to wash them when you have a high threshold here. As for the toilet, you have a standard plastic bowl. This is something that, after a few years, I personally would probably exchange out for porcelain. But again, definitely not a deal breaker by any means. And location-wise, as I mentioned, because the bathroom is so big, I have plenty of room for my shoulders and my knees. The sink over to the side, the vanity, you have a huge sink in here. I know there's a couple different schools of thought, whether you want a big sink or more countertop. I'm kind of a more countertop guy, but for those of you that like a big sink, you're definitely gonna be able to wash hands without making a mess, so that's a huge plus there. Electrical outlet, tankless water heater in here, so gone are the 5-minute showers, right? You can take a 20-minute shower in there, no problem. And then right underneath, you will see some additional storage, as well as storage up top in the mirrored medicine cabinet, but the biggest storage is gonna be right over here. This is huge, huge wardrobe storage that goes all the way back. I mean, if I put my arm in here, I don't know that you can see that, but it's a huge wardrobe, which is fantastic. The other thing I do want to mention is if we look right up top, once again, you have an upgraded fan in here. This is that 14-inch fan, so that way, any odors or moisture is going to be out of the bathroom much faster. So if you remember in the beginning of the video, I talked a lot about the little things, and there's been a lot of little things in the kitchen and in the bathroom that really help make this RV pop, but there are so many in the bedroom as well. The first one being the fact that you have a camp king size bed. So, well, yes, it is a little bit shorter than a residential king. Look how wide that is. You have a ton of space. And on top of that, if we lift this up, you can see all the storage underneath. So great storage there too. And on both sides of the bed, you have storage. Now, the one side right over here, you have this massive nightstand with a single inverter. So if you have like a CPAP machine, something like that, you can set it here, turn this inverter on, plug it in, and still be able to run that off battery power, which is awesome. The other side, actually behind the wardrobe, is some additional shelving. So you have space for cell phones and things like that. And speaking of wardrobe, you'll see the big wardrobe on top, some additional storage down underneath, and then across the top of the bed here, look how deep that storage is. That's so much more useful than what you oftentimes get in a travel trailer. And just in case that wasn't enough storage, again, When I talk about the little things, take a look at this. This normally would just be unutilized space, but they made this nice and deep. They even give you these nice bins here, so you have, just makes that storage just a little bit easier there. You also have a window on both sides, so you can get some cross ventilation, and if you want a TV hookup will be located right here on this wall. So what about the outside of the 2025 Campsite Reserve 25MW? Well, again, you have a lot of little features that really add up to big things, like having a power tongue jack straight from the manufacturer, so you don't have to spend the extra, $300 to $400 on one. You also see two 20-pound propane tanks with a cover, and things like a battery disconnect that just makes it so much easier when you're done camping, so you don't have that small drain on the battery. You also see things like the X9 chassis, which is very specific to Forest River. It's going to be quieter, has 25% less deflection than a bolt-on frame, and adds some stability as well from the way that it is designed and engineered. We take a look at the pass-through. You of course have full pass-through in here. You will also see over to the side is the 30 amp solar controller right there, because this one has a 100-watt solar panel straight from the factory standard on every single one. You have hanging racks in here, and again, all that additional storage underneath, plus it's a magnetic catch. The windows, take a look at these windows. These are gorgeous. This is one of the first units I saw utilize the square windows. Now a lot of your higher end fifth wheels have them. So you can see that the square window there is not only gorgeous, but it also has a very reflective tint, which helps keep things a lot cooler inside. The outside aluminum paneling here is going to be the highest grade aluminum that you can currently get in the RV industry. So not only does it look a heck of a lot nicer, it's also a lot tougher. It's not going to scratch or dent as easily. Opening up this compartment, one of my favorites when we have a couple's RV is having an outside kitchen. Why? Because normally they only have places to put them like underneath the bunks. They found a spot right here. Super glad they did it. You have the refrigerator, which in my opinion is probably the most important part, but you also have the pull-out griddle. So you can just flip this over and you have the griddle there as well with enough clearance to be able to easily pull that in and out. Of course, the propane quick connect right down underneath. So if you have a bigger one like a Blackstone or something you want to bring, or a Coleman grill, you can obviously hook up your own too, but the fact it comes with one, I think is just a wonderful bonus. Now right behind that will be your power awning with LED light strip. Of course, that is going to cover the door. The door is going to be the upgraded glass. It's a tempered glass door. Excuse me. Along with that, there is a window in here. A lot of times, because of the tint, it's actually hard to see, which I like. But if you want, this one is what they call thin shade ready, which means you can buy that thin shade and install it super easy, so you have that additional privacy. Excuse me. Additional privacy on the window. Right underneath, this is the Lippert Solid Step 4.0. Now the 4.0 is important because it is so much easier to adjust than past iterations. You'll see for the feet, for the foot itself, you just have this right here. So you can pull this lever up, and then you can adjust the foot, lock it in place. You can do the same thing on the other side. It makes it super, super simple. So that's going to be a big upgrade. Coming back a little bit further, we have a few different things out here for entertainment. One of them is going to be the speakers. Inside on the entertainment center, there's a multimedia center that's Bluetooth capable, so you can connect to that and be able to run these from your phone or whatever else you would like. You'll also see TV hookup, and it has the additional mount right here. So that way, if you want, you can just take the same TV from inside that has the same mount and just pop it right down out here. Otherwise, you can have a separate TV, but either way, you have that outside entertainment. And of course, as we mentioned, all of that is underneath the awning. Taking a look right down below, we'll see a couple different things. One of them is the fact you have aluminum wheels on here. That's going to be a huge plus because that way, less chance for any kind of corrosion and rust. Plus, they just look a heck of a lot nicer than steel wheels. You will also see this little guy, which is going to be a tire pressure monitor. So, if that's green, your tire pressure is good. If that flips to red, well, then we need to air them up. As for the tires themselves, you have 205/75 R14s on there. And as I mentioned inside, this is going to be an underslung axle. So those leaf springs are underneath the axle, which helps, again, just lower the overall height of the RV, making it more stable. Again, some of those small things. Another small thing that I think adds up is this right here. Believe it or not, these quick drop stabilizers are currently the most expensive stabilizers you can put on a travel trailer outside of like an auto level system or something like that. These are actually more expensive than your electric ones. And the way they work essentially is you just kind of, you actually take a power drill. So your standard stabilizer jacks, your manual ones, you're not supposed to use a power drill on there. I know a lot of people do, but you can actually damage the screw. This one is built to take it. It's more robust, so you can just run your power drill, run them down nice and easy, so that way it is going to be a quicker setup than just about anything else out there. You'll also see in the back the square tubular bumper here. More importantly, you can kind of see the underbelly. So this underbelly is fully enclosed, insulated, and heated, which is great. So that'll help keep out some road grime, also keep it a little bit warmer in the colder climates. Low point drains are super easy to access as well. I know that may seem like something that's minor, but as someone who lives in the Midwest and you have to do winterization, this is great. You don't have to get down underneath the trailer to be able to drain the low points. I'm personally a big fan of that. You'll see your water connections on the 25MW are right here in the back. Black tank flush, little odd location. It's a little bit higher, but you know, who cares? You're just flushing out the black tank. That's good to go. Up top is a backup camera. That's not prep, folks. That comes with a backup camera, which is really cool. You also see over to this side though, for prep is going to be your ladder. You can just buy the extendable ladder from Lippert, be able to climb up on to the fully walkable roof. And around to the off-camp side here, a couple things I want to hit on. You do have a light, which is great if you're like me and you go camping. By the time you get to the campsite after work, it starts to get dark. Now you're able to see what you're doing, actually be able to hook everything up. Outside shower with hot and cold water access, and because Campsite Reserve is thinking of the owner, you have easy access here for both winterization, so you can access the water pump there. It also, you can see right here, you have the inlet, so you can actually pump the antifreeze through the system. Very cool, love that it has that. And your water filtration is going to be in there too, the water filter. So if you need to change that out, you have access to it. You can access it from inside too, but it's kind of behind the wall. This one's a little bit easier. That's going to be the exhaust for our tankless water heater, 30 amp on this one. Right down underneath, you will see your terminations with both the black and gray tank valves. On the 25MW, the little things just really add up to big things. You have all that kitchen storage, including 2 pantries. You have the large 10.7 cubic foot refrigerator. In the bathroom, you're getting a huge wardrobe in there, plus all that storage space in the bedroom and all the features we have outside here. The 25MW is definitely one you want to check out. Thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see you.